Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Warzone. But you never thought you'd see a Warzone video here in the channel, but I've actually been trying to play Warzone a bit more as of recently. When I came back to Modern Warfare 3 and had that realization that I missed out on a lot of what the game had to offer post-launch, I then decided, you know, I have not played Warzone like really at all. You guys know my opinions on Warzone compared to Blackout. I think Warzone is one of the many reasons why Call of Duty's multiplayer kind of took a nosedive there for a couple of years, as it really seemed like the developers had much more of a focus on Warzone as compared to making the multiplayer experience better, you know what I mean? Well, recently, especially with Modern Warfare 3, Sledgehammer Games kind of reversed that a little bit. I would argue it's the best post-launch support that we've ever had in the Call of Duty franchise, or at the very least, the best post-launch support of the Warzone era from Modern Warfare 2019 onward. So what I decided to do is I want to hop on and play with my brother as well as my buddy Nate, and we're playing trios. Believe it or not, we're playing trios, which is something that you can no longer do, because in a very interesting move, what they've decided to do with Warzone is essentially kill it off until Season 1 of Black Ops 6, which maybe this is something they do every year, maybe it's something I just haven't been paying attention to because I'm not really much of a Warzone guy, but I have seen the community reception from this and people are not happy. So a couple of days ago, Raven Software puts out this tweet: while we draw closer to Black Ops 6 and make preparations for the future of Warzone, we will be consolidating the current playlist selection starting today into the following: Battle Royale solos and quads, and then Resurgence duos and quads. Plunder, Bootcamp, and limited time modes will remain available, and trios is going to be available in ranked play, and they're going to be giving us more details in the future. So essentially now, when you boot up Warzone, you don't have any options really whatsoever. And over the course of the past couple of months, they've been doing some really odd things, like getting rid of solo Resurgence, just not letting people play that, or getting rid of any other random playlist so people can't play that, and instead they're forced to go play something else. And now, if you're a solo player, you cannot play Resurgence. There's only duos and quads. If you want to play Battle Royale like on Big Map, well, there's not much you can do there either. Either you're playing by yourself or you have a full squad of people. There's no in between, no duos, no trios, or anything like that. And apparently this is how Warzone is going to be until they do the Warzone integration for Black Ops 6, which is going to be in Season 1. So not only do we have a month to go until Black Ops 6 drops, but then we have a month or maybe more after it drops before Season 1. So for all intents and purposes, they're kind of killing off Warzone a little bit to try to make people want to play Black Ops 6 even more. And again, I need you guys to let me know in the comments, is this something that they do every year? Is this exclusive to this year? I'm not really sure, but the community reception to this has been terrible because lots of people, let's be honest, play COD for Warzone, which is kind of crazy for me to think about. It's still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that multiplayer is not the biggest thing and that Warzone is what people think of when they think of Call of Duty. It irks me at my core, but you may be thinking these playlist updates are not really that big of a deal. But again, if you're a solo player and you want to play Resurgence, you now have to play with one other completely random person or play with 3 completely random people, unless of course you can get a friend online. And you guys can go check whatever tracker websites there are. I'm sure there are some out there where people track Warzone stats and whatnot. I did not cherry pick this gameplay whatsoever. I hopped on right before this video to record footage of what it's like trying to be a solo player playing in quads, and it's freaking miserable, man. It's actually so bad. So we're jumping into Resurgence here on Rebirth Island. Nobody on my team is talking, and nobody's trying to ping anything either. So I ping Stronghold, right? Let's go to Stronghold, I guess, guys. I guess we'll go this way. And then I see that Pink right there is kind of heading this way, but my teammates aren't. Now Pink, if you look at the mini-map, is starting to go away. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're all gonna go over here, I suppose. It's just so completely random. Like, nobody really works together. People kind of just go off in random directions when you're playing with random teammates, and rarely do they ever speak. And if they do speak, they don't speak your language. This was later on in the match here, and
Tienen que mamar huevo de verdad, rapazo madre.
Yeah, it's really, really hard to play as a solo player in quads. It kind of just makes the entire experience not so good. And I've been watching a lot of Murder Show over the course of, honestly, the past couple of years, and he loves solos, and that's all he wants to play, but they keep taking away his favorite way to play Warzone for some reason. Now, it could be because they're trying to consolidate the playlist down, because right now there's not as many people playing Warzone, and maybe as a result, they're trying to get what limited number of people they have all into a couple of playlists. That way you have fast queues and everything, which sort of makes sense. You know, nobody wants to be waiting like 15 minutes to get into a match. If you try to play Blackout right now, it's not quite 15 minutes, but when I tried playing Blackout on Xbox anyway, it would take maybe almost 5 minutes to get into a match, and the real downside to that is even after you waited your 5 minutes, it wasn't even a full lobby. So maybe they're trying to avoid that for Warzone, but I refuse to believe that the player count is so low that we can't have solos and duos, trios, and quads across big map as well as Resurgence. I don't see how that's entirely possible. Another thing to consider would be the possibility of smaller countries or different areas in the world where the player population is not that big. If you have more playlist options and a small number of people playing, then that's going to increase the overall time to match for every single playlist. So they're trying to consolidate that down. I kind of understand it, but at the same time, I played one match here and no one here is even speaking English. So I'm wondering, like, what server did I connect to? Where are these people from? I'm from middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, like by Lake Erie, for crying out loud. There's not too many Spanish speaking people in this area. So am I connecting to people down south? Am I connecting to people like way up in the Northeast? Like, I have no idea. I really have no idea where my teammates are from. It's not like I'm sitting there asking them. Even if I did, I wouldn't understand them if they gave me a response. So it's one of those things, man. It really seems like they're trying to like dumb down Warzone a little bit right now as just another thing to try to promote Black Ops 6 a little bit, because if people aren't playing Warzone because they can't play the modes that they like, maybe they're more incentivized just to jump into the Black Ops 6 multiplayer and get their guns leveled up and play that, and eventually wait for the full release of Area 99 when the Black Ops 6 Warzone integration gets added during Season 1. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But ladies and gentlemen, I did want to cover this news here today. It's been a couple of days since it came out, but I've been busy doing other things, and let's just say this has not been exactly the best week here. Definitely checking on your friends and family, guys. Definitely do that, because before you know it, out of nowhere, things can happen. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts and feedback on the Warzone integration or lack thereof down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.